Okay, great job by Audrey to give us an intro into the TED Ed website, which is what we chose to uh, look at for our thoughtful design. I'm going to continue on and give a little critique and some maybe improvements and some research that we think would be great with the TED Ed website. So first and foremost, our framework for design. Our first part of our framework was aesthetics. I think this is a very important thing to think about, which I think our class talks about quite a bit. And I think the aesthetics of your website, first and foremost, give you that immediate feedback, the kind of visceral response of, do I like this site or do I not like this site? And I think that alone can make you decide to either stay on the site or not stay on the site. I think the TED Ed site does a fairly good job of this. It's a fairly clean layout. There's some white space. I think one major thing is that it's not text heavy, and I think that's a great thing. Um, it focuses on lessons, which is a good thing because if you're getting to this website, more than likely you have some interest in education. But there's just not a lot of clutter. The menus aren't cluttered. There's no real drop-down menus where you have just tons and tons of choices. So I think it's fairly simple. Which leads us to the next one, which is simplicity. Once you get past the visceral response of, is this pleasing to me? Is it not pleasing to me? If it's not simple, that's the second step where you're going to be, okay, I'm out of here. I don't want to be on this site anymore. So I think if you can't figure out how to use it, you're going to leave. TED Ed, I think, does a good job of this as well. Easily, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what the site is, you can easily, within one click on Learn More or take a tour. And again, it's not text heavy, it's a video that demonstrates how to use the site. So I think that's a pretty simple thing. You can begin finding content right away. The home page has videos, or you can simply click on the menus and you can find content right away. One thing I really like is that there's no search box, and it doesn't make you think of something you want to search for. It gives you categories, and I actually kind of like that. I think that makes it easier. You don't have to think a whole lot. You just look at the categories and figure out what you want to find. So I think simplicity is pretty good. Our last part of our framework is effectiveness. It's great if it looks good. It's great if it's simple. But ultimately, if it's not effective, then I don't think it's a good website or a good use for education. I believe TED Ed is effective. I think it does what it's supposed to do. I think it's great that it's driven by users and it's driven by used and looked at by teachers. They actually employ teachers who I think will lend some validity to the lessons. So I think at the end of the day, it's a fairly effective site. Improvements. Again, I do think it's a pretty good website, but there's a couple things that Audrey and I talked about. One being that it'd be nice if there was some consistency between the categories. So here you see the front or the main home page of TED Ed, and you can see there's videos that you can click on. But once you click on the menu, like up here, if you click on series, it changes. So now you have categories and it shows how many videos are in there. And I think this is a pretty cool layout. But once you click on subject, it changes. So now there's a menu on the left, but it changes the look of it. And then again, on best flips, it changes again. So I think we'd like to see some consistency there. Second thing for improvements for me that I'd like to see is it'd be great to be able to create classrooms. You can create your own account, which keeps track of the lessons you've done, the ones you've created, and all that. But I'd love to see it be able to create a classroom where you have a group of users who can interact and use it together. Moving on to research questions. I think the first research question I'd like to see from this website, or even using this website, is does it really enhance education? I think it does. I don't know if there's data for it, but I'd like to know if using this type of website really does enhance education. And then the second one being, is learning improved by flipped lessons? I think, flipped classrooms, flipped lessons, flipped curriculum, it's kind of a big thing right now, and it's pretty popular, but I'd like to see some data on that and see, is actually flipped lessons, is it really helping people learn? So I think that's about it. TED Ed, it's a great website, and there you go. Everybody have a great week.